Well, welcome to Talking Hawks with Daz and Smitty tonight. I am Matt. If you're joining us for the first time. Well, welcome to Talking Hawks with Daz and Smitty tonight. I am Matt. Sorry, fans. For the first time. Welcome to Talking Hawks with Daz and technical issues. Hopefully, we're good. Sorry about that, everybody.
That's some of our best 30 seconds.
All right, mate, that's the blooper of all bloopers. If you're joining us for the first time, we are all about connecting Hawks fans from around the world. These two gentlemen and myself and you, we're going to chime in with all of our Hawks passion and go through the Hawks draft. Plenty to talk about. I'm not going to waste any time, and I'm going to ask the fans, just throw your questions, your thoughts in, and we're going to just motor through them tonight. So Sean is kicking us off here. Fox Footy gave us a D+ rating, one of our most important drafts. Other clubs laughing at us. I don't know. Smitty, open the proceedings.
I've got strong feelings about this one because it was one of the first things I saw this morning when I checked the socials, and I have never been a fan of draft grades because how can you judge people who haven't got the opportunity to do what they're employed to do? It'd be like hiring a chef and judging him as a bad chef before he even cooks a meal. Like, what kind of sense does that make? So draft grades as a whole can get in the bin, but I don't think other teams are laughing at us at all. I can't really fault in what we did. We wanted to draft athletes, we wanted to draft height, and we wanted to draft class through the middle of the ground. And I think Cam Mackenzie fits the bill in all of those areas. I think Josh Weddle fits the bill in all of those areas. I think we did a great job. And I was talking with Daz in a private chat last night, and we both graded Hawthorn as a top 5 in terms of how they went about the draft and did they get what they wanted to get.
Yep, you've covered it beautifully. I don't think we need to add a whole lot, fans. We'll keep an eye out. But let me just quickly give you a recap. So I picked 7, Cam Mackenzie, Sandringham Dragons. Pick 18, Josh Weddle, Oakleigh Chargers. 37, Henry Hustwaite, Dandenong Stingrays. Pick 46, Jack O'Sullivan, Oakleigh Chargers. 51, Bailey McDonald, Oakleigh Chargers. Running theme there. And Josh Bennett, our Category B rookie, who I had a good little chat with, the Box Hill today. So we've got a little bit of an insight on JB because he was running around with them for the last year. So he is courtesy of our Next Gen Academy through the Eastern Rangers. So one more in the mix. Welcome, Christopher. All right.
Hey, man.
I was just going to sit out, but I'm in now.
Welcome.
Thank you.
More the merrier.
That's it. Okay. Quick run around. Thoughts?
Well, their useless part is works, Chris, in a magnificent way, and the biggest support is that they gave St Kilda the worst draft grade last year, and they had the best haul of anyone. Owens, Winhager, Nazaya Wanganeen-Miller, look, ticks. Oscar Adams, bit of a naughty boy throughout the start of last year, so can't really judge that one. So, yeah, take it with a grain of salt. It's an opinion, and let's judge the draft once we see these boys on the field.
Yep, and I think it's a nice summary here. Is it for now or the future? And I think some of the fan reactions, looking at what the needs and wants may be and what they imagine in our current list, is a whole combination of things, I think, around game plan and the like. And Chris, I think you've summed it up well. Is it around a 3, 4, 5 year game plan that we're drafting for now?
Yeah.
Daz, let's just elephant in the room. You've got to be in the bonnet. Do you want to just let that cat out of the bag?
Is this the Josh Weddle trade, Matt? Is this the bee? I've got.
Explain. Well,
I've almost got a hive of bees. Which one are you referring to?
It's going to be a couple of no balls. It's going to be a long over. I think everyone tonight. Settle in. Daz has got a head of steam on a couple of things. So, mate, kick us off with Weddle.
Yeah, the Josh Weddle trade. Now, for full disclosure, and Smithy, I hope you don't mind me sharing the conversation we were having at the time. But when the trade was done, because this is how much of a nuffy I am. I was watching the draft on the TV on KO, so the Fox Sports coverage, and I had the AFL app open on my phone. I appreciate the laughter. Who needs a social life? So when I saw the Hawks in the room, and I'm messaging Smithy going, I think we've traded here. And then we did. We both went, well, Ed Allen. Cool. This is going to be awesome. The father-son rule. Who needs it? We're going to get it. It's going to be great. They called out Josh Weddle's name, and we kind of went, huh? Really? Okay. Same sort of height. I think he's a touch smaller than Ed Allen. And then as soon as it came out that we weren't going to use him as a key defender, we both went, awesome. Cool. Yeah. This makes complete and utter sense. But where I think Hawthorn fans are being led astray is what we gave up, which is the future second and the future third for next year and the 27. That second and third isn't going to mean a whole lot. We're going to have probably, sorry, Hawks fans, a top 10 pick next year. And we're going to get Luke McCabe's boy, Will, in the teens. So we're going to need draft points anyway. Those picks effectively mean nothing to us. We'll split the Bulldogs pick. We'll split Brisbane's pick. They're the second and third that we currently got. Like Brisbane did this year to get Ashcroft and Fletcher, except we only have to do what Brisbane did for Fletcher, which we'll do anyway. So, Hawks fans, we've got 6 first-round draft picks in 4 drafts. That's how you rebuild, and let's wait and see how Weddle goes when he gets on the park. So, the bee in my bonnet is the overpay, which is just, it's non-existent given the fact that Will McCabe is going to be a Hawk pretty much no matter what.
Yeah. Good one. All right, it's got a little bit of steam out. Cody's chiming in here. Not just the kids that play good footy we drafted. Yeah, it's about the attitudes, intelligence, athletes. Spot on. You've nailed that. Playing good footy. I'm going to share a little bit around JB shortly because I didn't know too much about Josh Bennett. So let me just check on a couple of Chris.
I'll just cut in here, talking about that culture and the attitudes of the players. I just wondered if Matthias Philippou might have been skipped based on his sort of big steam of head that he had about himself. So playing in front of big crowds, etc.
And he's gone to St Kilda.
It's about the team, not the individual. And I just wonder if he got overlooked based on that that individualism.
I was going to just say, Daz, and everything I've heard from Cam Mackenzie's mouth, like every interview I've heard, every radio or newspaper article, he seems like an upstanding individual and just down to earth, got a good head on his shoulders. For someone of his age to have the maturity he has, he's going to be able to come into an AFL environment straight away, just fit in like hand in a glove. So he definitely sort of fits. He's like the Josh Ward of last year. Josh Ward was the really smart kid who said all the right things and went about it the right way, and we saw the results of him last year. So I think the Hawks nailed it at 7, to be honest. And Mackenzie's one that I pointed out very early in the draft process as a kid who I thought could seriously play.
You've earned a head wobble there, mate. So Macca, as I'm told, from a fellow that watches a lot of decent Rangers. He's a big, tough. He's good inside and out. So I think the opportunity to work in with a Macca is going to, Oakleigh Chargers, not Eastern Rangers. Oakleigh Chargers. He's really one to watch, and I think we've got a great pick there. Quite a steal. Weddle. I did hear through the connections, bit of a weapon compared to an Alex Rance if we go down the comparisons. So we will see what I'm interested to know who we think might jump out of the gates for who would they back in for a round 1, assuming that everyone's fit and firing of the crop. Any takers on a round 1 option?
In my opinion, Mackenzie is probably the most AFL ready as it stands right now. I think Weddle is going to be a little bit of a project because he didn't play much midfield time, especially at representative level in the championships. He was used pretty much as a general defender. So with Sam Mitchell already coming out and saying they want to mold him into a midfielder, he might take a bit longer to get used to that. Henry Hustwaite is tall but very skinny, and he might need a little bit of time for his body to mature. And it's the same with the fellas at the back end of the draft. They both look pretty rangy, skinny types. So Mackenzie definitely has the AFL ready body at the moment, in my opinion.
Yep.
Oh, like give me Bailey McDonald as a smoky for a round one berth for sure.
Pace.
Yeah, and you don't, as far as Hawthorn were concerned, Mark Mackenzie at the end of day one said, we're taking 2 more kids. That's it. We did take 2 more kids, and then at 51, they've gone, he's still here. How is he still on the board?
Yeah.
We're going to trade up and get him, for a 4th round pick, which is, again, nothing, and we'll get those picks back for McCabe anyway. So if we thought that highly of him at that time and he can still roll in, then it's going to be, I think, that vote of confidence leaves him as a bit of a smoky for round one. But if everyone's fit, and not everyone's going to be fit in round one, everyone fit, probably none of them do. And that's not necessarily a bad thing in a rebuild. We're rebuilding. We're trying to get to another flag. And yet we've still got 22 blokes who we figure could be in the side ahead of them anyway. It's just, it's going beautifully. I promise you, Hawthorn fans, we will get there. There'll be a little bit of a wait, but we will get there. Everything's on the right track here. We are going to be... Smithy could probably help me out here because he's the NBA man. We're going to be a bit like the Sacramento Kings this year. We're going to try and score a lot of points. Might not want to watch us defensively at times because we might get punished the other way. But if we're on and we've got the ball in hand and we're able to turn the ball over between the arcs, good luck stopping us. We were 4th in the competition last year for scoring per inside 50. We were 16th for inside 50s. So once we got it in there, we did things with it. We just couldn't get it in there. So clearly the guys that we're drafting and the priority that we've got is taking the less amount of time and disposals as we can to get it in our forward half and let these guys go to work. So what did we do? We got big-bodied guys who like to run, use the footy, and hopefully set up the forwards. If I'm Mitch Lewis right now, I'm grinning from ear to ear. This could be a big year for him.
Yeah.
The foot skills,
we might have touched on it already, but I might just quickly throw that up. Ed Allen, I thought about that myself, the go-home factor. Been there for a long time, and I just thought...
Why?
If you decided between 2 and you rate them both, I'd stay with the Vic kid, I think, with Weddle.
Or the back injury. But, okay. Yeah. Matt, I'm going to unlock my hive. I have another B.
Here's another B. Here's another B.
30 seconds. Go.
Jason Horn-Francis has not made every homesick kid going home. That's not, I promise you. It's who is the last Hawthorn player that left to go interstate and hurt us?
Excellent point.
Yeah.
We're fine. Our culture's good. They're not going to leave. Rant over.
Just that little, if you're making a decision, it might just tip you over the edge.
And if we weren't drafting Weddle, I promise you Collingwood were.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah, we left you a bit of space there, but thank you. Very respectful. So in talking to Box Hill, I wanted to get a bit of an understanding of JB. So we need some new nicknames, but Josh Bennett, there you go. JB, he started with training with them over the last year, once a week. Pre-season, he came in pretty light, and at the intra-club, he lit it up. He played on a wing, and this is... So going into last year, Colo and Clint Proctor, they were just licking their chops. He played a lot on the wing with the Rangers. He's very quick. He's got a very naturally athletic, great leap. But he reads the play really well. He's super clean off the deck. So he's a player that breaks the lines. He might not get that many touches, but I get a little bit excited hearing this as a young kid. I think his mum may be Filipino or something like that. It's you've got some great athletic smarts, and if we're about moving the ball quick, he could be that fella that helps break lines, that does really connect, whether it's from the back half or inside 50, as you just said, with Lewis potentially licking his chops, and maybe old mate Fergus from Box Hill. They might have trained a little bit together. they might combine a little bit. We will see. So even though you might need to put on a few kilos, I think you've got a kid there that is one to watch in JB.
Yeah, and I definitely think the blueprint for our 2023 game plan was put on the table, because if you look at the athletic profiles of all of our draftees, it is speed, and more speed.
Mm-hmm.
From, Cam Mackenzie, not the quickest, but he's got that real burst out of the front of a stoppage, which is what we're looking for. But you look at Weddle, freak speed. You look at Bailey Donald, freak speed. These guys can burn. And I think with CJ already there, we've brought in speed off the halfback flank. It's going to be just get and go, take the game on and play with dare. And, as a fan, watching fun football, win, lose or draw, if you're paying your money to go watch the Hawks, you want to watch fun football. And I think that's what we're going to get. So it's definitely exciting.
100%.
Another speedster.
Yeah, you're right.
Here we go. So you maybe got Weddle on one wing as we look, forward. If you've got JB on another, it's interesting from you, Brooke. Maybe Sam having plans for Bramble to move into the midfield. So there's a lot of maybe options, I think, with this midfield and the depth in the back. I saw a lot of fans on socials questioning what are we doing? So can we go around? Any thoughts here from you three on with this depth, maybe off the back line to begin with? What are we doing?
So you want
there's got to be a couple move either to the wings midfield, but big one for me, and I hope he does it. Sicily forward.
No.
We can cover the back. We can cover the back, Daz. We've got it covered. And he can pinch it back if we need him.
Okay.
We're here to disagree, all right?
Good start. I'm going to just quickly find there was a suggestion here. Maybe is Meek someone that we drop forward now?
Yeah, he could start. He could start forward, rotate Reeves to the bench, and Meek to the ruck. That could definitely work.
Reaver was taking grabs in the goal square last week.
Yeah, big noodle. And very, very good set shot at goal for a big fella, Noodles. He was pretty sure-footed when he had a shot at the sticks.
Yep. Sorry, I've gone off track from my question, but Daz, any thoughts on the counter for Chris there? Who are you? What's the moves if we've got so much depth in the back? Who do we shuffle?
You don't. Why do we need to shuffle? Why are 18-year-old kids at this point right now affecting our side this much? That might not be as good a thing as we think. If we're getting, let's say it's a Josh Weddle, for example. So if we're putting him on a wing, are we saying right now that he's better than Morrison? Are we saying he's better than Day? It's how much shuffling do you do to appease these guys? These guys are simply going to be best case scenario, everyone fit. The next soldier's up. I think the 22 right now will stay relatively similar with the game plan of go, go, go implemented first, and we go from there. From 4 to 5 years from now, there are going to be, and I'm just doing the averages here, about 13 guys on our list that aren't going to be there. Now, who are those going to be is probably not for now to say, but round 1, 2023, if none of the draftees happen to play, then our 22 structurally is going to look, I think, relatively similar. And if the draftees do come in and play, then they'll replace guys who are injured positionally anyway. So Meek comes in to do the McAvoy role, and we probably stick with 2 ruckman if he goes ahead of Max Lynch. If Weddle's injured, it might be because Will Day's body's not ready. So I don't think we're going to see the shuffling that everyone thinks. And James Sicily's an All-Australian. He's going to play in the spot that he should have been named in an All-Australian. Come on.
All right.
And you can't blame fans for the. I mean, when it happens in every fan base, when new kids come into the club, there's the sugar hit. You want to see them play straight away.
So
you want to know what you've got. It's exciting, but realistically, when it gets to round 1, all of these kids don't need to play. They will get their time. I think you just need to be patient. Follow them closely at Box Hill. Follow the Hawthorn and Talking Hawk socials throughout the preseason. I'm sure we'll do plenty of work during the preseason to get information on these guys and have you in the loop, but don't expect to see them all so early. It's probably a good sign if we don't see them early. It's because it means that the list is deep. It means that the competition for spots is really strong, and that is a positive thing.
I agree with all that, but I'm more thinking with the injuries we had with Frost, Bramble, Day, bits and pieces, if you've got your best 18 out on the field, I reckon 12 of them are defenders. You can't fit them at 6 in the back lines. Maybe 1 or 2 on the bench. You can't play them all. They have to play somewhere else. Does where? Maybe a discussion for another time.
I think
probably because our best 18 has 8 defenders in it, but okay.
I think
right,
Will
I might be
Day
exaggerating, but I think there's people will be missing out that should be starting senior players.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. We want that.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I think
when
Will
other
Day-
clubs come poaching for them, we sell high.
Tony's moving us on. Let's be honest, no club walks away from the draft saying, geez, we really stuffed that process up. Maybe a little bit of context. For,
not externally, anyway.
Yeah, you know, not.
I think we have done well, though, on the whole. So, look.
Can we talk about the big winner out of this draft from Hawthorn's point of view? How have we not brought this up? The one man who right now is going, I have all the faith in the world, it's Jimmy Warple. 100%. Hawthorn have said, hey, it's up to you and Jai to go win the ball. You did it when Mitchell broke his leg. He ain't here anymore. All yours. He's got no competition for contested ball spots now, so it's all up to you, Jimmy. And I think that's huge vote of confidence from Sam there and the recruiting staff to get guys for Jimmy to feed the ball to. Him and Jai, of course, but I'm just talking about Jimmy Warple here. Go get the thing, feed the ball out, and be a contested bull for us because you're going to have no competition for that spot. I think it's a huge tick, and it's probably why Sam likes him in the number 5.
Yep. It's good. It should be pushing up. You know, when you invest this much in the youth, you do hope that they will set standards. And everything I'm hearing is that there is a good vibe. We're seeing that good connection with Box Hill and the talent there that's being, nurtured and continuing to be exposed. So, let's hope it does continue along those lines. Daz, have you got any big questions? Any insights for the fans? Because we don't know perhaps a lot about some of these players. We haven't touched on a number of them. Jack O'Sullivan, Henry Hustwaite. I might let Chris have a little bit of a run up at that one.
The double H.
Yeah, all right. Henry Hustwaite played with his old man, Mark Hustwaite, absolute legend of the MP NFL. So, he's if he's lives up to his dad's standards, and I'm sure that his dad's looked after him in that sense as far as teaching him everything he knows. And just watching the highlights, I can just see so much rubbing off. His old man had a pretty light frame, wasn't quick. It was just see ball, get ball, and use it well. And judging by the highlights I've watched, quick decision maker and uses the ball well. The highlights, just that low kick, not this just little floating kick. It's just a sharp kick and hits targets. So that's what we need.
Yeah. They rolled out the Scott Pendlebury comparison at
I'll take off.
Yeah, saying he plays like Scott Pendlebury at 18, and Daz is right. If he turns into half the Pendlebury, legacy, that'd be a home run draft pick at the spot. And you can see it when you watch the highlights because they're both tall midfielders. They're both a bit lanky and rangy. They both have that really sharp left foot kick, as you said, Chriso, and that's what stood out is just the precision and the velocity behind his left foot. He really punches the ball, and that's key when you want to move the ball quick. The quicker you can hit that kick and get that handball, it's off to the races. Those rangy, loopy kicks don't do fast ball movement well. So it's another one. If there's a lot of injuries down back, I think he could do what Pendlebury does for Collingwood now at the end of his career and play on the halfback flank and just drive the ball out. It would be a great spot. But as we've discussed many times tonight, the depth down back is huge. So we might not see him too early, but I could definitely see him fitting that sort of role before evolving into that midfield type.
The big question, Smithy, is does he have a basketball background?
He does.
He does. Huge.
Yep, he does. So that's going to get mentioned every time.
Up for the next 15 years.
Yep. Shout out Dwayne Russell.
84 kilos. No complaints with the size there. So awesome.
Yeah.
Daz, give us a little bit of a intro with Jack O'Sullivan, if you wouldn't mind. From
Oakleigh. I'm not going to lie to you, Matt. When the pick was read out, I kind of did a who, and I realised that he was actually in one of my notes from an article in September. So I did know him. It's just that I forgot that I knew him, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I don't even know. Anyway.
Yes.
So the good thing with Jacko is that once this kid gets the footy, he always wants to be on the move, and that's not necessarily forward. He loves to buy himself space and to use the footy. He's got a sidestep on him that can just make opposition look stupid, and it is great. I think he had a move against the Bendigo Pioneers where he just stopped on a dime, and we see it again, Smithy, not to bring up basketball, but we see it just so many times, these blokes that can just stop on a dime and pivot, and that's what he can do. I don't suspect that he's AFL ready when it comes to round one. But I'll tell you what, if you get to Box Hill, and I know we're going to, in 2023, Matt, I think we're going to see some things from him that is going to make us excited moving forward. So probably a pick for the 24-25, maybe not 23 unless we see him back end of the year. But we're a very good chance to be able to go, maybe this kid shouldn't have been as unknown as he was. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch Box Hill this year.
Yeah.
From this year and last year's draft, and the talent, it's going to be a good year.
100%. Yeah. Awesome. I think the decision making is something that excites me personally as well. I think we're identifying that in our talent. So yes, it's putting it on the foot and onto your teammates' chest or hands, nicely. But that decision making for mine is something that. Maybe it's just we need to get the hands on the ball a bit faster, but in traffic, being able to move around a bit, I think what we're drafting here in some of these midfields for the future, that excites me. And probably back to your point a little bit earlier, Daz, if you got Duke in there and potentially Warple, you got Nashi that can go and get it, so we've got some good boys in there that can do some heavy lifting to get it into the hands of the right people too. So what have we got from the fans? Just while
we flashed the comment up before, Jack O'Sullivan reminds me a bit of Zach Fisher. I think, Jacob there. What do you reckon of the player comparison, Daz? Because I haven't watched much of Jack's highlights, but from the stuff I have watched, it looks like a pretty good comparison, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't think he's the Chad Wingard comparison that got thrown around a bit. On draft night. I don't mind the Zach Fisher as a comparison at all. I think he's a bit better field kick than Fisher is, and I think he's got a bit more of that goal kicking ability as well. Zach Fisher not really known for hitting the scoreboard, but his endurance, his ability to want to find space first, and pretty good by hand or foot. I rate the comparison a lot better than the Wingard one.
Yeah. We've got Cavs in 5. I thought Bailey McDonald highlights were pretty impressive for some Simmets, and I totally agree with you. It could turn out to be one of the steals of the draft at 51, wasn't it, Daz? 51?
Yep.
Yeah, at 51. And you know what he reminds me of Jaden Hunt, who used to play for Melbourne, now West Coast, just because when they get the ball off half back, they just go, and it's catch me if you can. I am running forward with the ball. And the thing that he has as well is he looked really composed and was able to take that half step before a kick, lower his eyes, hit a target and go. So I was really impressed with the Bailey McDonald highlights as well. I thought he was an excitement machine.
Could be because he was wearing 28 and had the blonde hair, so you might have actually got him confused with Jaden Hunt. That's a very fair possibility that happened. But I agree with you. And I think what's so exciting about him and Weddle individually, what they've both got in common is they want to be in an offensive chain more than once. So they want to get the footy, they want to go, but they want the 1-2, and they want to be able to overlap. So what we're going to have to do once these guys are, what we hope they are, and that is in the best 22, is we're going to need a midfielder, whether it is a Nash, whether it is a Will Day, whoever it may be, that if we are on the overlap, that they are going to have to get back as well, because if we get killed on the turnover, then we're going to have to be like Geelong in the late 80s, early 90s. We're going to have to kick 120 because we're probably going to concede 100. But that'll take time and to develop. Offensively, Bailey McDonald grabs the footy, wants to go, and then keep going. He's in between the arcs. He's, so exciting. And, at 51, I mean, my goodness.
Well, I'm sure Sammy will be telling the boys to back themselves in. So, like we've recruited some kids with good skills. And if we don't turn the ball over, then we don't need to get back and defend, do we?
Is anyone going to tackle this year? Just anyone? Jai doesn't need to anymore because he finds the footy. So,
we'll have
Dimmer's going to lay some tackles. Anyone else?
Jimmy Warple's a good tackler.
Yeah. When he's not
Jimmy
pushing off
Warple's
5.
Good old Nashy. Nashy can have 20
Yeah, Nash.
goals.
Connor Nash can have 10 a game. There's a question there, Maddie. I don't know if you want to bring it up on the screen. But it says, was there any players that Daz or Smithy wanted with our second pick in the rookie draft? Now, I haven't seen... I was going to say, I haven't seen the draft order for the rookie draft, but there was a WA kid named Jed Hagan that we spoke about, Daz, on the Late Round Sleepers podcast episode. He did slide through to the rookie draft. Did he get picked up? No. So, he would be the one because Daz and I were sort of speculating, could we get him in the 40s? And then he ended up sliding to the end of the national draft into the rookie draft and didn't get picked. So, I don't know. Do we have an SPP spot? Because, he looked the goods. So. He looked the goods. So, could be a name to keep an eye out on.
Yeah, I think so. He just does a bit of everything. I wouldn't have minded Blake Drury, who North got at pick 1 in the rookie draft. So we weren't really a chance anyway. If you want a Bruce replacement, as in a small forward that just stays inside the forward 50, which there's no qualm about that. But Clarko sniped us there, so cheers for that. Yeah. But Seamus Mitchell back, and he's probably on his last chance. And we've got that one spot for SPP. It'll be interesting to see what we go with.
Well, if we do. I was about to touch on that. 36 senior listed players, 5 rookie listed, 2 category Bs. So, after we got JB. Interesting times. One more spot. I was wondering about Steve Lawrence. I asked you, Steve Lawrence's son.
Yeah. Jerome.
Daz.
Jerome,
Thoughts on, is that an SSP option for us?
Could be, but I don't. He didn't register as a father-son to us. So, I mean, it could look genius if we do, but I'm going to back in what the club's told us externally and say probably not. And if there is a key forward in maybe the mid-season draft, or if he continues to develop throughout next year, then he might be worth picking up. But, if I had to put $1 on it, I'd probably say no.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Easy done. Did we cover off the small forward needs with the current list and the draftees that we've picked up? Do you think you've got Brewsty, closer to the end? You've got.
Well, if he's not, then we're in for a fun ride when he's 43. But we got Brocky as well, who's just had twins during the week as well. So a massive congratulations to Brocky and his
awesome,
beautiful partner. And if he could stick around for the 100 games, Brocky, that'd really help us out because we keep getting stiffed by this. Daniel Howe's gone to North. I think he played 99. So don't have a son, please, Daniel. So I think we kind of forget about Brocky a little bit.
Yeah,
and
he's pretty much a new recruit.
Yeah, pretty much. And
we've got an AFLW team now. Come on, daughters are welcome.
Yeah, could be father.
Didn't you
daughter.
have twin boys though?
Sorry, you knock on. Anyway, doesn't matter. Moving on.
How having kids? How?
Yeah,
how can have a daughter and play for AFLW? That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
they're all welcome.
That's why I said don't have a son because he played 99. Well, this has gone off track quickly.
I'm super prepared tonight, everyone. Sorry about that. My apologies.
Come on, Matty.
So I think we will wrap it up shortly. Is there anyone, fans, you've got anything that we have missed in the chat? The chat has been going ballistic. It's been great
to
have you with us. Anything burning any opinions you'd like some thoughts on or questions?
There you go. Jai Sarong down forward too. He's not small
watch,
forward,
yeah.
but I think he could have an impact this year.
Yeah.
Tall.
Straight into the Gunston role.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Well, the question that actually, if I can propose a question to you guys, is if we do play our second ruckman forward, does our third tall become Cozzy, given that in the last 2 years he's registered top 3 for pace, if you trust I think it's the Gatorade trackers that they've got, the GPS tracker.
Yeah.
Clearly his speeds have been top 3 for the Hawks. If he's not a centre half forward, and we probably still don't know that yet, can he be a third tall? Is that possible, or is it centre half forward or bust for Cozzy?
I think it's centre half forward or bust. To be honest,
this could be our third tall forward.
The centre half back. Yep.
Well, where's Sicily playing?
At the back pocket, Chris. It's where he should have been in the All-Australian team. You're doing this to stir me up. You're trying to attack my beehive. Leave my beehive alone.
No, we're talking about the forward line, mate. We're talking about the forward line.
Yeah, we need to make sure Daz leaves on a positive note, on a happy.
Always positive, mate. Captain
Ferguson's the wrong, surely, lining up for that third tall Jackie Gunston if we stick with that type of mould.
Unless the forwards are consolidating their spots by kicking a few goals a game, I can see it sort of that forward line mixing weekly almost just to try and find the right chemistry.
Yeah, and what's going to be so exciting is because this is the last sort of 2022 chat, if you will, for the year, because there's just nothing left in terms of footy, is everyone, so all 4 of us will have hopefully Adrian, who's helped out Talking Hawks fantastically over the time, Timmy, we're going to give our best 22s fully fit. And I on the podcast, so keep an eye on that throughout December and January. I can guarantee one thing, none of us will have the same 22 at all.
No.
So, and that's what makes this so exciting. And even though we're probably not going to be at a Geelong, Brisbane, Melbourne level, if you're not excited about the Hawks at the moment, I mean, nothing will excite you. This is going to be an awesome ride. And Sam Mitchell, he's going to lead us to the promised land. I'm not sure when, but it's happening.
Yep, absolutely. I think Dami, one of our favourite regulars, talking about being some trusted hands, the club, to continue to develop them. The program we have with Box Hill, absolutely do trust it. Colo, Little John, welcome into the fold. It will be exciting to watch. So, fans, you have been fantastic. Chris, thanks for joining us. Smitty and Daz, as always, thank you for listening to the show. Please subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you listen to your podcast. We appreciate you all, and it has been a phenomenal year. And thank you to all of you lads, and especially to you fans. Keep it coming. We will keep an eye on all things Hawks as we do every day and night. And take care, everyone. We will catch you all soon.
Go Hawks.
See you guys. Go the Hawks.